Yeah.
Okay, I think we are going to get started. Hi everyone, my name is Annette Gibbs.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you. And I work with Walt Disney World Public Relations. Some of you know me, some of you know our illustrious leader, Rick Sylvain, and some of you know Michelle Bauman as well. We all work together. And you may have had the opportunity to meet Ashley Monaco, who is our professional intern.
Welcome.
Yeah, so we wanted to get you together today because we have some exciting news to share with you. Can't say it's new news, but it's news that we recognize is really important and great opportunities, not only for Disney parks, but for guests as well. So I have a question for you. Who in here is a grandparent? All right. Well, I asked the question, who are grandparents? And now, of those of you who are grandparents, who's been here with your children or your grandchildren? Okay, yeah. Well, today we're going to talk about that because we recognize that, you see a lot of younger people there who are pushing the carts with the strollers and so forth. But we also recognize that a number of you have been here through generations with your children. There's an opportunity for your grandchildren to come and spend time with you at Walt Disney World. And so we just wanted to talk to you a little bit about that because, again, we wanted to share some news. So to talk about it, we have Holly Harrington here, who is brand manager with marketing, and also Brianna Cease. I want to make sure I get Cease correct. Yeah, associate brand manager. And they are working on multi-gen travel here at Walt Disney World. So they're going to share some nuggets of information that we have and hope to get you inspired to get folks to come out and then you talk about it through your blog, through your news stories, and spread the word about what's going on here. So,
Sure. So, as Annette said, Bree and I get to work on grandparents, which has been a lot of fun for us. So the one question I was going to ask is how many have grandkids, which you've already answered. So as you know, as a grandparent, that you love your grandkids, and you have felt like you have that right to spoil your grandkids, and you've earned that right to spoil your grandkids. You want to spend time with your grandkids, and you want to travel with your grandkids. That's what we've learned through our research is that you want to travel with grandkids, spend as much time as you can. The other thing that we learned is you're active, you work, you're young at heart, and again, the most important thing is your grandkids, is spending as much time as you can with your grandkids and building those bonds together. And there's a couple other things that we've learned, and Annette touched on that a little bit, but Bruce's going to talk a little bit more.
So what better place to visit than Walt Disney World with your grandkids? Like many of you said, you've been here before with your kids. How many have been here with their grandkids? See, and that is just such a special time because you're being able to relive those memories of bringing your kids here through your grandkids' eyes. You're kind of the first generation that grew up with Disney, the golden era, and so being able to bring your grandparents is even a more special occasion. You're getting to relive it twice. So at Walt Disney World, we know that we have those options and offerings for the entire family. Whether you've been here in 1975, 1985, or just now, our family of attractions and entertainment has grown just like your family has. So whether it's the classic and you want to go on Dumbo, it's a little bit of a new experience with Dumbo, or try something new like the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. You get to relive some of those favorite memories with your family, but then it's all about creating those new bonds, which we're really excited about.
Exactly, and seeing the magic through your grandkids' eyes, right? That awe when they see you can relive that when you took your kids, and you see your grandkids, and you relive that magic, and you see that wonder as they meet their favorite princess, or they meet their favorite characters, and they run up and they give them a hug, and you get to relive all that again. And again, that's all part of building that family bond and building those cherished memories, and at the end of the day, that's what families want to do, and that's why they come to Walt Disney World, to build those bonds, to have shared fun together as a family, and in particular, even the whole family together enjoying that, and we call that a grand adventure. So when the multi-gen is here, when grandparents and grandkids and kids and everyone's gathering here, we call it a grand adventure. And this summer we have great things going on to help with that grand adventure. So we have a resort offer.
We have a resort offer right now that books through June 6th. That's perfect for the multi-gen family. When you stay 5 days, you can save up to 30%, and 6 days or longer, up to 35%. And what's really fantastic about this offer is all the product that we have within it for multi-gen travel, so that your entire family can stay together. So we have family suite offerings. So over at our newest resort, the Disney's Art of Animation, we have family suites over there, so a little bit more room for you to spread around, or deluxe villas through Disney Vacation Club. Whether it's a 1, 2, or 3 bedroom grand villa, we have something for your entire family to stay together here in the middle of the magic.
Which we know is important too. So when you're staying at the resort, it's not only just spending time here in the parks, but when you go back to the resort and relax, you go to the pool, it'd be nice to have the family together. And so we did a great product for that between, as Bree said, the villa product with Disney Vacation Club, or a suite product. Is everyone familiar with Art of Animation and the suite? Yeah, it's a great question. Oh, sure.
I'm sorry. Maybe I missed it. Could you just define what you consider multi-gen? Is it a minimum number of rooms, an age span between ticket holders?
No, multi-gen, we just look at grandparents, their children, and the grandchildren. So we just look at spanning it. It's not a set
generations.
Yeah, it's not a set number of people coming here, or families, family members coming. We just look at it as sharing and coming as an entire family and having a wonderful, magical vacation here as an entire family between grandparents, again, their children, and then the grandkids.
So the resort offer would apply, for example, if you book just one room?
Yes, absolutely. Our offer that's out there now, as Bree said, till the 6th of June, so it's up to 30% at all different select resort properties.
Is there a call? Is there a name for that offer?
Just our summer,
So we have releases to hand out?
is that the resort offer? Because there's a ticket offer I'll talk about too. Because that might be the ticket offer too. Because we have a resort offer, and actually you can find that online. If you go online, it's available to anyone. And then we also have, for the summer through the 14th of June, we have a ticket offer. So again, and this has a qualification of the amount of people. So it's families or parties of 6 or more, and a 4-day Magic Your Way ticket. So if you have 6 or more in your party, and you purchase a 4-day Magic Your Way ticket for every person in the party, you get 1 free day in the parks. So again, we think of between our resort offer and then obviously the accommodations for multi-gen travel with the ticket offer. We think we have great reasons to come to Walt Disney World.
So they're available together?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. They're not exclusive, it's not like one or the other, yeah, absolutely.
And the reason that they're so great right now is because we know that if grandparents are traveling, with their children and the grandchildren, many of the kids might be in school, so that's why they're calling it a grand adventure for the summer. And, these wonderful offers, because it gives you an opportunity to come, as a family under, the different generations. And can you talk a little bit more about the rooms there? Because what's great about the resorts here, we do have something that fits everybody's budget. And you talked about Art of Animation, which I think is just a beautiful resort anyway. Most of you probably have been there and you've seen the artwork and the suites and what they offer inside the suite. You talk a little bit about that, which again works for extended families.
Yeah, those suites, they sleep up to 6 people in the suites, so that's perfect for extended families. And again, there's the other offerings at Disney Vacation Club, all the villas. So you can have a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, or a 3-bedroom villa at our, at our different Disney Vacation Club resorts. So we have plenty of accommodation in resort to accommodate large families and large groups. And again, if you wanted just one room or you want rooms together, you can do rooms together too, as opposed to suites or 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom. You could 2 rooms together in a adjoining or whatever you may want to do at all of our resort product as well.
Could you talk a little bit about the growth that you've seen in multi-generational travel and any ideas that you have about the percentage of multi-gen guests that you have here at Disney?
Well, we've seen over there, and Annette said this isn't anything new for us. We've seen multi-gen travel for years.
Right.
So from our standpoint, we look at it as a way, again, just extending our message out to a different type of travel and just sharing and saying, let's build the magic together and come as a multi-generational family.
And I would add to that, we've just seen, a growing trend of grandparents just being a lot more involved in their grandkids' lives. So that extends beyond just having dinner with your grandparents during the week or going to see school activities is continue that into travel and vacationing together as a family. And what better place than Walt Disney World for
And
that?
if you think about, sometimes you're not in the same city as your kids or your grandkids. So again, in order to connect and bond, a lot of times you vacation together and you want to vacation at different destinations rather than just at home.
And are you finding also that grandparents are the ones who are willing to do the planning?
Yeah, it's interesting. So we're finding that grandparents like to initiate and they like to travel with their kids. And they'll bring up the conversation with their children about taking a family vacation together and a multi-gen vacation together.
But how do you think the grandparents are gonna do with the new app and?
Oh,
Was that what you were gonna ask?
no, I was supposed to ask, but I raised my hand like I'm in school.
Okay, I didn't see, but I just wonder if the grandparents are planning how they're gonna do with.
With the new technology and the new apps that
That
we
is
have.
my question.
Yeah, well, we're thinking, with the research that we found, as more technology is becoming more mainstream, and we find this with the, not just grandparents, but just, parents or public overall, is that people are becoming more adaptable to all the technology. And then our applications, we're trying to make them as easy to use and as intuitive to use. So hopefully it will be an easy transition.
And the one thing probably great about being a grandparent, you can go to your grandchild and say, help me with this.
Well, that's the other thing too.
Right.
So,
But,
we think
but
about
also, do we still have some of the traditional ways? You can still pick up the phone and call a
Absolutely, you
reservationist.
can call the-
and,
right.
to
The
traditional-
Disney
Yeah.
Reservation
Yeah.
Center will be glad to help you through
Or
every step of the
WWW.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or make it a family planning time, and you plan it with your children too, so you're not just planning it yourself, and then you can make it a family planning time, and you talk about what attractions you want to, or what resort you want to stay at, and you make it a family time plan. Yeah.
I have a question on the date. For the ticket officer, it must be purchased by June 14th,
Yes.
but can it be purchased and used later? Beyond June 14th?
I'm not sure.
Oh, the question he asked was about the ticket offer that is in the press release. So yes, you have to book by, or purchase it by that certain day, and then they'll have a certain limitation of days that you can use it beyond that.
And if it's not on there, then we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was asking, do you have to also use the ticket by the 14th? You have to buy it by the 14th, but you have to use it. So let's find out a date for, expiration date in terms of when you can use it.
I'm actually on the multi-gen trip right now.
Oh, good.
And so I have my parents with me, and I have my 4-year-old and my 11-year-old. My parents are getting tired easily, and it's not something I recognize or did because I don't travel with them right currently. Do you have any listing or maybe something on an app that could recommend places for them to go and cool off or to take a nap break? Not necessarily sleeping, but just a break
Yeah.
in the different
Great
parks?
question.
Yeah, there's a lot of little, and I don't have a list of everything, but there's a lot of little places within all the parks that you can go and just take a rest and just kind of get away and get under a tree and get some shade or have some water. And then, of course, if you're staying at one of our resort properties, it's really easy. You can either get on the monorail, get on the bus, and get back to the resort and relax.
And then
Like
that's
a
just-
lounge. I know I've been to other parks that have a cool-down lounge. that-
Yeah, and we have places too as well where you cool down, you go in and it's real cool and everything. And I think that's a great question because it gives us an opportunity to put together all of those things, and not just for
Tips,
grandparents.
Yeah.
But- right, yeah.
Or attractions that you might not know that, are a great
Yeah.
place for you to cool
Or a
off. The
place
great
that has
movie
more
ride
shade,
is,
yeah.
18 minutes long
Because
of
we
a
know
nice
a lot
air
of an option, some options, people like to get on the train at Magic Kingdom because you get to rest. You don't have to do a lot of walking. You can do that, or we have different shows, as you know, that
Like
are
Hall of
inside.
Presidents. My
Yeah,
parents
right, Hall of
loved it.
Presidents, yeah, so Mickey's PhilharMagic, there's a lot of options. And part of that planning and what we put out there can help with, okay, if you go here, then give you that information as to where you can find shade
It'd be
and
great if there
rest.
was a listing.
Well,
Yeah,
the
that's
Dumbo ride
Yes.
offers that,
Yeah.
where you can relax while the kids are, doing whatever they're
I
doing.
like that, because you can still do that with your
Yes.
grandchildren,
Right.
or your child if they want to.
Yeah, and then that's a great tip too, is that as you're planning as a family and thinking about what you're gonna do each day, maybe there's some days where you say, you know what, in the afternoon, we're gonna go back to the hotel, we can rest if we want, we can go play in the pool, recoup, and then come back later that night for the fireworks.
And not to be disparaging on any segment, but I know parents who come out with their little kids, they plan their day accordingly. They come in the mornings, they may stay up to the parade, they go home, they'll go back to the resort or wherever they're staying, do dinner, get in the pool, take a nap, then come back. And so also it's part of the planning as well, is how, getting a sense of how everybody wants to operate, when you're out in the parks together. And then, as you say, have those options so you know that you can try to please everybody. Yeah.
Well, why not a planning app? You gotta ask for everything.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Yeah, that's
Right.
what we're saying, exactly. It's a great question, because it's an opportunity for us to look at that and pull that together.
Sure.
So that grouping of places to go relax does not exist now as a grouping. There's no period
Well,
where
no,
you
there
can
are.
relax.
There are a variety of places.
But there's
we
not
haven't-
one place to, we haven't compiled a
Right,
list.
we have to
for-
compile it. So
There
we-
is, but there is not a list.
There's
Well,
currently
yeah.
not a list, but
Yeah,
I think that's
right.
something that we can take back
Yeah.
and.
Yeah.
Not a concerted marketing,
Yeah, it's not like you can go online
Thing
and then.
that-
Well,
Yeah,
we
like
have
before
some
that.
things. I mean, I know we used to have stuff where you talk about you want to get into the cool and so forth. But like I said, this is an opportunity for us. As we talk about this, and we know that a lot of people are traveling together and have different needs, it's a great opportunity. That's why I thought it was a great question.
Yeah.
Just some good opportunity for us to go back and put something together.
I have a question regarding the discount, I'm sorry that
Yeah.
if I'm
Yeah.
cutting anyone else off. But multi-gens that are in the state of Florida, can they combine their Florida residency with this discount? Or is it one or the other, or do they get anything additional if they are in the state of Florida with the
I think it's
discount
one
in
or
June?
the other. Yeah, it's one or the other.
It's one or the other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can you talk about your foreign clients in those markets and where you see multi-gen growing there, thinking of the Chinese market, has some potential, it seems to always travel in multi-gen groups.
Yeah, I can't speak specifically to that because we really concentrate just on the domestic market, so I can't speak specifically to that question, I'm sorry.
But we know that that is a huge market, because that's a market that we enjoy quite a bit. And they do travel with parents, grandparents, extended family, and so forth. And would be happy, this is on the domestic side, would love to get that information, check with my partners on the international side, and get that information. If I can get your name, well, I know Rick and Michelle have it, and then we can get back with you on that.
And I know you mentioned like a lot of the attractions and things, but I noticed on the app now there's a lot of the things that people don't know about, like the campfires at the hotels, or like carriage rides or things like that. So is that part of like what you're going to maybe start promoting too? Because those seem to me to be perfect, nice activities back at the hotel for the off day and things that everybody really can enjoy.
That's perfect. What you just asked, there are so many great little respites and little unknowns, because you don't really, unless you've experienced them all, you don't necessarily. So like I said, there's the campfire, there's the hay ride over at Fort Wilderness. I mean, there's just a lot of little things, but I think that's a great idea that we can compile all these different tips of where to go and off the beaten track and little things to do that you might not think about, but there's some wonderful things. I know.
And did everybody hear what she said, or what she,
Yeah.
okay.
I know my kids are a little bit older, they're 15 and 16, but they grew up here with me. And so I would go find all these little places with them, and sometimes when they're younger, they just riding on the monorail. They just, it's, talk about like a break, right? You sit on the monorail, it's cool, and they just, especially, 4 and 5 years old, they thought that was a great ride. So as grandkids, they thought it was fabulous, but that's another just a little break.
Adults think that's good
And
too.
that's
My
good.
sister-in-law, when I brought her, we went on the boats and the monorail, she's like, let me pay for the next thing. She thought that was admission. I'm like, no, we haven't even gotten to the parks
Yeah,
yet.
the boat, we would go on the boats, yeah.
Another thing grandparents can do, go on the Small World After All ride several times.
That's real cool in there too. You sit, you relax.
I agree.
At Epcot, there's a lot of attractions inside, the boat
right.
ride at Mexico, I mean, there's a lot of
Nice
inside.
and melodic, I mean,
Yeah, and little ones love just sitting there, watch the pictures, and, yeah.
It's just so much that we have here, and probably because we're so, immersed in it. This is just a great opportunity for us to kind of target it more with that, special messaging. So don't know if we're running on time or.
Oh, we're well ahead. We have multi-gen cheese trackers, crab cakes, wine,
I have one more
beer.
question.
Yeah,
sure.
In your research, do you know who's paying for these multi-gen trips? Have you looked at that?
Yeah, some grandparents do, some grandparents don't. It's not, I can't say it's any hard fast rule that we're seeing, but some do and some don't. Some initiate and pay, and some just initiate and don't pay, and they just take it as a vacation together as a family.
Yes.
Maybe you said this early on. Do you have any idea, any strong guesstimate about what percentage of park visitors are on multi-generational trips?
I don't know. I don't. I think 'cause it's when you come into the parks, you can't tell the groups or anything like that.
I was
so-
wondering if you had any way to tell when they booked their tickets.
Yeah.
It's a little harder when, they might have different last names. We might be able to start seeing that a little bit more with My Magic Plus and how guests can link their reservations and see how they're traveling that way.
Any more, Justin? Well, we are here,
Wait,
they
yeah,
are
one more
here.
question.
Oh, go, sure.
Okay, I was just going to ask about, like you have in World Showcase, the Agent P adventure. Are you going to be looking at any more? Because that to me seems like something that generations can enjoy together too, because the adults tend to like the detail of World Showcase. The kids need that hook. So are you going to look at anything else maybe that kind of gives that appreciation where you've got some tech for the younger set and, the detail and the slower pace for the older
I
set?
love that you know all these fun things.
I
That's,
know.
that's I
I
take
think
my
it's
kids
great.
on that too when they were younger. They absolutely loved it. Bree, do you know what that means?
I think, our Walt Disney Imagineers are continuing to always evaluate, what works best for each park, but making sure that we really have something for everyone. And if you've seen here at the Magic Kingdom, we have quite a few different adventures like that, and they have a lot of popularity. So it's probably something that our Imagineers are considering. But
Because they've been successful.
Yeah.
They've been very successful. We have them on the cruise ship as well. They
Yeah.
get the same.
Detective agency.
Yeah, it's fun. It is a lot of fun.
Well, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning because we are really exploring this area, and as we've talked about, we know that there are so many wonderful opportunities, and you've given us good feedback as well. So we're able to go back and take some of the information that you have shared with us, and they are here. So if you want to ask more questions afterwards, Rick, anything you want